Okay, so I would say for this one that since I have a slope and I have a x and a y, I don't really have to graph it anymore because I know that y equals mx plus b. And I know that if it says it's a slope, I know I can plug that in for m. So that's negative 2/3. And I can plug something in for x, and I can plug something in for y. And if I plug all that stuff in, I can solve for b using whatever algebra skills I have. So what should I plug in for x? Yeah, let's put the 12 in right there. That's a negative 12. And then let's put a 16 in for y, and then I got 16 equals fraction math time. 3 goes into 12. 3 goes into 12 4 times.
Wait, where'd you get 12?
I plugged it in because I know that y equals mx plus b. I know that the slope was negative 2/3, so I plugged it in.
Oh, wait, we're doing 2/6.
We're doing 4-26. Let's do our fraction math nice and slow in case there's people that need help with fraction math. So this one I have 2/3 times 1/12. I like to do this thing where I cancel them out. 3 goes into itself once, and it goes into 12 4 times. So then I have negative 2 times negative 4. Well, that would make 8 over 1. No, well, that's just 8 over, that's 8 plus b. That's what 16 equals, right? Then I want to get the b by itself, so I have to subtract the 8 on both sides. Now here's b. b just comes down. And then that's equal to whatever 16 minus 8 is. Did anyone else get that answer? Like, Rocco, did you get that for b?
What was it?
Well, the answer is going to be y equals negative 2/3 x plus 8. Did you get that as your answer?
Y equals negative 2/3 x plus 8.
Did you? Yeah? Did the book get it? Let's see. Yes. Okay, so what we did is we grabbed an empty y equals mx plus b formula, and we just plugged the negative 2/3 in for m because we knew that m means slope. And then see, here's an x and a y. Well, if you have an ordered pair, then you have an x and a y you can plug in, and then you can do it. Now this isn't the one that you asked for, so, but I still, isn't there a letter b? Might as well finish it. Who knows what's the x, oh, the x-intercept of the line. Does anybody know what the x-intercept of the line is? Not the y-intercept. The y-intercept's 8. What's the x-intercept? How can I ever find that? What do you think? Rocco?
Do the same way, just find it, just try to find it the same way you found the line.
But there's no slope-intercept form for that has the x-intercept.
So get the y-intercept.
Uh-huh.
And then do, and then just work your way backwards, like up, so, like...
Oh, I know what you mean.
Like,
okay, so...
This is my graph.
Mm-hmm.
So when I figured it out, I started right here, and I went down here, and then I just continued that up.
Uh-huh.
And that's how I did mine.
Okay. So the x-intercept happens when y is 0, doesn't it? She's like, yes. So can I just I could also just plug in a 0, because I didn't graph mine. So I don't, oops, I just made a 3. I meant to make a 2. Here's another way to do it. If you didn't graph it and you still want to know what's the x-intercept, plug a 0 in for y and then use algebra. So I want the x by itself, so I'm going to get rid of the 8 by subtracting 8. Now I still have negative 2/3 times x is equal to negative 8. And then, does anyone know how I can get the x by itself? Caitlin must know. Do you remember from algebra? Divide by 2/3. Okay, I could, you know how when you divide, how you like flip and multiply? Would that be okay if instead of dividing, if I flipped and multiplied both sides by 3/2? Look, 3/2 times negative 2/3 Well, actually I want negative 3 halves, don't I? And then look. Negative 8 over 1 times negative 3 halves. See what I did? See this, the negative 3 halves, how I multiplied, this is the equal sign right here. I multiplied both sides by the reciprocal of the coefficient of the variable. What? By the reciprocal of the coefficient of the variable? And see how they cancel out like that? That's nice. We did that on purpose. That's the same thing as dividing by negative 2/3. That gives me x. But now over here, I don't have to do some weird, division thingy. So 2 goes into itself once. 2 goes into 8 4 times. So now I have negative 4 times negative 3. And that should give me a positive 12. So the x-intercept is at 12 on the x-axis. So if the x-intercept's at 12 on the x-axis, it's going to be 12, 0. That's what I think the answer is, and you guys are like, well, what was the question? Let's make this bigger so you can see. The question was 4-26. Okay, and I'll check that and make sure. Okay, so the one Isaac wanted, I'll just keep on going with the same recording. The one Isaac wanted to see was 4-27. Here, I'll do it like this. So 4-27, did you already figure it out? Not so much. No? Okay, so 4-27, it's, this will be our last problem. It's got a, we'll be done soon. It's got an x and a y. Oh, this is cute. It makes you guess. Wow, this is really nice. So letter A, so it's got an x and a y right here, so something must go here. What goes here? Something times something equals xy. What does that have to be? It has to be y. Because that times that has to be, because, length times width is area. Now, this is a 3 right here, and this is a y right here. And so it's like length times width has to equal what goes inside. So I think 3 times y has to go inside here. And then that's y squared. Now, I have to write it, I'm just going to do A, not B, because the next class needs to come in here. So, I'm going to bring this 3 down here, I think, just for fun. And then this must have been y times y. So now I have like a little area model. I can say that the area is xy plus 3y plus y squared. Okay, that's the area. And that's equal to y times x plus 3 plus y. That was letter A, and so hopefully that helped you a little bit, and maybe you'll be able to do letter B on your own. Right? Okay, well, time flies when we're having fun, so I guess we'll see it.